What's up everybody, welcome to another Logic Pro X tutorial. I am Clormo. Today I'm going to be talking about the drum machine designer, and to keep it short, let's go right into the tutorial. But right before I do that, just a quick note, this is the last video for the year. It's the holiday, so not a lot of people are going to be watching. I'm gonna take a break too for that, and then come back in January. I'll let you guys know what the plans are for 2018. So here I have just an empty project with an empty track, and this is, in my opinion, the simplest way to explain this. So then the way that you can load the drum machine designer, you're gonna go to your instrument drop down, go to drum machine designer, and there it is. Once it opens up, this is the main view, and then the library by default always opens up because it gives you, the very first thing that it gives you, it's a list of the different drum machines or drum kits that are in the library, and then you can load them from that list. Obviously, the drum machine designer is nothing more than a drum kit designer in a way that mimics very closely what Ultrabeat did in the past, and Ultrabeat is still very useful in my opinion, but this is like an upgraded or a facelift version of Ultrabeat, because you can do essentially the same things. And if you have dealt with Ultrabeat before, or you have seen my previous tutorials, then I don't need to give you that much detail on that regard. But yeah, this is the very first thing we see. And again, right on the top, you're gonna be seeing the drum kit that you have loaded. I'm gonna change it to Boom Bap for this example. You see how it loads, and then the kit pieces change. So the up and bottom are this. You have the actual drum kit name shown there, which it's a selectable field, which affects the view on the bottom, which is the controls. And then here on the top, you're gonna see each of the drum kit pieces that you have. So the editor here at the bottom is gonna change when you select a particular kit piece. Your controls, notice that are gonna change at the bottom, and that's gonna, these are the smart controls as they're properly known. They're gonna change with each. So what can we do here? The very first thing is when you load one of the presets, you already have a set of kit pieces, and then let's say that that kit that's there sounds pretty good to what I want it to. But now I have all of these controls available to me, from the pitch, the envelope, so we can change the sound, the body, the stereo position, the mixing, everything that has to do with that waveform and its position in space, which is very powerful and a very good and easy way to organize your sounds. Because again, we're dealing with a preset, but then since you can bring your own sounds, then you can arrange them in kits and have them mixed and arranged in different ways, and you can also change its sound with the pitch and so on and so forth. So when I select a kit piece, I also have a corresponding library for kicks, for example, and then the own Logic library opens there and gives me some different options to change. So you see, I can change the different individual pieces and do all sorts of things. You also have your different, muting and soloing of each sound or each of the key pieces. You see, when I solo it, everything else goes grayed out. When I mute it, then that one grays out. And when nothing is muted or soloed, then you have all of them visible. You also have this little arrows here at the bottom that just brings you to different banks, and any of the empty paths that's in there, when you select it, gives you this message here, which just means that you can drag and drop either from the library. Like for example, I can go here to hi-hats, and it loaded that without dragging it because it's coming from the actual Logic library. But if I go to my media browser, as I have done in the past with other instruments, you can browse to your sound banks and then drag and drop into each of the empty paths that you have there. So that's pretty much it. Just to give you a little overview of the whole instrument controls though, when you select the instrument name, you have again your smart controls for all that, and what you're gonna have is different submixes for the kicks, the toms, or any of the other pieces are gonna be pre-mixed on different buses, and that's what you see here. And then you have also effects for that whole kit on its own. So you have different high and low cut filters. Then you have delays and reverbs. There's a pretty much standard, and then other different sorry, I just changed that. Just some other effects that you have there. You can also turn them on and off with this button. And if you want to change it, you right click on any of them. It's gonna bring the plugin window so that you can change whatever effect plugin that you have there. And then if you do the same right clicking on the mix area, you can also, I'm sorry, you can't not do it for the whole instrument, but if you select a kit piece and then you come down here and want to change one of the different plugins that it's going to be tied just to the kit piece, you right click and see that. You can also right click on the top and you can create a track for the different kit pieces. You can clear that cell. You can also select the instrument here and you can close the library, clear all cells, and just hide the different icons. So the last thing I'm going to show you here is what to do if you want to create your own different drum kits. Like in Ultrabeat, all you do is just clear all cells, and for some reason I think this is a glitch that still exists, that you have to close it and open it again so that it actually shows you everything that's cleared out. And then you also have here these two controls. You see that you have like I showed you, this controls for the whole instrument, but you also have the sends that are available in the smart controls, and you can have the group delay and reverb for each of the groupings of keyed pieces and control them here specifically without having to go into the mixer window. So now that I mentioned the mixer window, just to start closing this tutorial, when you use this disclosure triangle here, you're going to see every of the keyed pieces there, and if they have any MIDI info, it's going to show it here. Obviously right now I don't have anything, but like if I close this and I open the library again and I go to Drum Machine Designer and I go to, let's see, I want to load something, but let's see. Just make a new instrument so I don't waste time. And bring the library back. Boom bap. Okay. So now if I go to that disclosure triangle again, you can see the different pieces there. Each one is a track on its own. And then if I bring the mixer, I am able to see like everything, how it was mixed. And you can see that I have some reverb and delay already on most of them. And then here at the end I still have, you know, my stereo out and master tracks, but it's good because I can see the snare buses and the kick buses, everything that's grouped, which are those auxiliary files or tracks, and then I can see each and every individual key piece of tracks, and then I can mix those. I can mix everything here. Like, this is good because it's something that you would typically do on your own. Like you would create your different tracks, etc., and then group them in buses and then put more effects on top of those buses that will control all sorts of keyed pieces that you may have grouped together. And the very last thing that I wanted to show you here to close the tutorial is that you'll notice that each of these pads has a corresponding note. So that means that you can control that keyed piece with your with the note that's there, right? Like C1 right now, if I press it, my kick, and then D1 would be my snare, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, the different pad banks are kind of screwy, but you can also drag and drop your pads elsewhere if that helps you. And you can also, like I showed, you can load for D1. Let's say you want to kick there, and here you want something else on your D1. You can always load it from the library. And also, if you have like an MPC MIDI type of instrument, that's also gonna work the same way. And then you can rearrange as you see fit and make sure that everything sounds well together. So if I change the pitch of this, notice how that not only works in real time, but it also shows you how it's being transposed, and that's going to work for pretty much everything that deals with a specific transposing control, and then everything else is going to be given either in percentage or decibels, depending on what type of control you're using. So that's pretty much all I had for this overview tutorial. Next year you're gonna see me using a little bit this and a little bit more, and then that series of a little bit of sound creation mini workshop that I want to do, and other things as usual. So remember to subscribe if this was helpful for you. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, share, like, comment. If you're watching this elsewhere, depending on where you are, you can always like my page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and every other social media venue that's out there where I am located or I have an account or presence on. You can also go to the description of the video and see where else I'm at and what else am I doing. Thanks for the support as usual. My name is Clormo. I'll see you in 2018. Peace out, people.